Hi, it's Lorna from the Australian Tapping Institute, and it's great to be here with you once again. Now, I hope you are loving the Tapping World Summit as much as we are. It's the annual event. It gets us ever so excited in the tapping world. If you haven't found it, when you get off this video, go and find the Tapping World Summit website, register, get on some of the calls. They are just the best. There's talks and there's issues and there's people come up and they have conversations about different topics, and then they do some tapping on those different topics. Now, as you know, this sort of summit then just brings up the whole exposure of EFT and tapping to far more mainstream than it usually is, which is friggin' awesome for the industry, for the technique, for those of us who are working in this space. It's just amazing. Some of the calls that I've had, I thought I would address in a video because they just keep coming. And quite often when people are contemplating being a practitioner and training, studying, whether they're studying with us or whether they're studying with another school, questions are usually very similar. How am I going to find time to study when I'm already busy? Now, I have done some maths for you. This isn't to beat up on social media. This isn't to beat up on your habits. But when we start to look at study that we're going to do, we're going to take on a new activity, whether it's a new hobby. In this instance, we're talking the study. People come up and say, well, I'm already busy. How am I going to fit something else in? So I did some maths for you. So if you're a person who does a half hour a day on social media, scrolling, flicking, looking, reading, sticky beaking, half hour a day on social media equates to, are you ready for this? 22 8-hour days across a year. 22 8-hour days on scrolling and flicking and looking at stuff. Do the maths. If you're spending an hour a day on social media, flicking and scrolling, that is 44 days a year lost productivity. An hour and a half, 66. You can do the rest of the maths. Now, it's not a beat up on social media. It's not a, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be wasting your time. It's just an awareness conversation so that you know, have you got time to say? You may not, this might not be for you. But if it is, think about that half an hour a day on social media. You get rid of that, you've got 22 days a year, 8-hour days to do something else with. Now, when you think of a course like ours, we're 100% online. There's no coming to any live training anywhere. All the live calls happen online. All the training modules are online. You connect with other students online. We encourage you and train you to work with with clients online, completely online. So if you think you're doing some online stuff, I would suggest that our course is probably about 135 to 140 hours in total over the year. In total over a year. So if you gave up, and that so the maths on the, let me just take a step back. So the maths on half an hour a day came out to 182 hours a year flicking on social media. So the half an hour a day across the whole year, 182 hours on social media. And when you think of the course like ours, 135, 140 hours, you still got time to spare and do a training course that's going to be valuable. Now, other schools are going to have different requirements. They're going to have a different number of hours. Do your research and work out which one's the best for you. But just think about it when you're considering, can I do a training course? Can I go and study? Maybe it's not EFT practitioner. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's some sort of personal development course that you might like to do. Maybe it's some sort of activity course out of the house that you want to do. And when you do the maths on what you're giving up, missing out on, and what you're wasting that time on, or giving that, maybe not wasting, giving that time to, so you're giving half an hour a day's attention to social media. Let's face it, most of us can't limit it to half an hour. if you're giving that 22 days, 182 hours a year, and what do you have to show for it? Versus doing something for you that's going to bring you satisfaction, it's going to bring you enjoyment, it's going to teach you something, it's going to grow you, it's going to ignite something in you. Imagine going and doing that. So if you are thinking about, I'm going to do some sort of course, practitioner with us, practitioner with someone else, or something else, think about the time that you spend on some sort of social media, and then you can get a better gauge of, do I actually have time to do study? Generally, yes, you do. You just have to prioritize a little bit differently, change things up a little bit differently, maybe change your thought processes a little bit, and find the time to be able to do something that you can get passionate about, excited about, that you're going to love to do. So I'm Lorna, the Australian Tapping Institute. It's been great to be here with you once again, and we hope that if we are the school for you, if you're considering a career as a practitioner of EFT, do the research, get in touch with us, ask the questions, find the school that suits you, ask them the questions, because the world's waiting for you and it needs you to come together with us to heal the world. And I'll see you on the next video.